Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Go Intelligent Sports Podcast Show. Hey, we're here today after the NFL has decided to release their schedule and the Saints have their 2024 schedule, and we are ready to dissect it. And I'm going to give you my prediction on where I think the Saints will finish this coming season. First and foremost, let's get some of the stuff out of the way. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I post these videos. I bring you everything dealing with the New Orleans Saints. Everything with an opinion that's going to be real, period, right? Let's jump into the Saints football season. I don't want to waste your time at all because I'm excited about this. The Saints, according to the NFL, have the second easiest schedule in the league. So with that being said, we thinking Super Bowl, right? Not so fast. Look, the NFL didn't do the Saints any favors the first 6-7 games of the season. Yes, we're starting September 8th against the Carolina Panthers, game 1. That's an easy one for the Saints, I would assume, right? Bryce Young, he's still a second-year player. Ain't really setting the world on fire. Didn't have the greatest of rookie seasons. The Carolina Panthers, in my opinion, hasn't really done anything earth-shattering to improve the team. So I think this is going to be a nice start of the season with a win. The Saints' second game of the season is where we start to, it gets a little tougher. You have the Dallas Cowboys, and the game is at Dallas. This is going to be a loss for the Saints. I'm sorry, this is just a loss. For the simple fact that Dallas Cowboys are just a better team. I mean, they are. I don't think Dallas Cowboys is the best team in the league or anything like that, but they're better than the New Orleans Saints, and this is a loss. Game 3 against the Philadelphia Eagles. This is another loss. The Philadelphia Eagles are head and shoulders above the Saints right now. Moving on, right now the Saints are at 1-2, but it gets easier. We got the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta. This is pretty much going to be a win. I think the Saints can beat the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta. This is 2-2, right? So we got the Kansas City Chiefs, another loss. So these first 5 games. Saints have Dallas, playoff team. Philadelphia Eagles, playoff team. Kansas City Chiefs, playoff team. When does it get easy? What easy schedule are we seeing? Talking about the Saints got the easy schedule. The first 5 games, we got 3 playoff teams. I don't see easy. Then after Kansas City, after the Super Bowl champs, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, and when it came to the New Orleans, they beat the Saints. Saints beat Tampa in Tampa, but last year they split that. So this is a toss-up. I don't know what to make of this. The Baker Mayfield is going to be in his second year with Mike Evans, so they should be improved. So that's pretty much a toss-up. Then Thursday night, October 17th, we have Sean Payton, and the Denver Broncos coming to town on Thursday Night Football. This is going to be one of them emotional games. And I'm talking about emotional from the standpoint of all the Saints fans that, Sean could do no wrong in their eyes, who still wish that Sean was probably the coach and doesn't realize that Sean actually quit on the New Orleans Saints. He didn't want to go through the adversity of getting his ass whooped for not having Drew Brees. When actually, I understand they tried to get Patrick Mahomes. I get it, but Andy Reid beat him to it. I understand that. But you still held on to Drew for far too long. Far too long. But this is going to be one of them games that Sean Payton is going to, try to come back and prove that he, is still him. But he's going to have Bo Nix probably at quarterback. And I think the Saints can pull this game out here. I think the Saints can absolutely win that game against the Denver Broncos. Then the Saints travel to Los Angeles with the Chargers. They have a new head coach in Jim Harbaugh. But they still got Justin Herbert. They're going to have some new wide receivers. Keenan Allen isn't there anymore. So I think the Saints might be able to steal a win in Los Angeles also. Then we got the Carolina Panthers. That's another win for the Saints. I don't see Carolina improving this year. Maybe next year, but not this year. Atlanta Falcons again. At home, right? November 10th. This could be a pretty good, easy win for. I ain't gonna say easy because no divisional opponent is usually easy, except when they're like dog crap, like the Carolina Panthers. But the Falcons, it's another toss-up. It's another toss-up. Cleveland Browns at home. This absolutely has. We're playing them November 17th. Deshaun Watson injury history. This could be Jameis Winston coming back to New Orleans and playing against his former team. That is going to be a good one. If Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback with the Cleveland Browns come November 17th, there's going to be fireworks because he's going to be on an emotional high and he's going to try to prove that everybody on the coaching staff, not necessarily the players because they love them and the fans love Jameis too. But he gonna prove to especially DA that he could have got it done. And you went and signed a mediocre quarterback and Derek Carr for $150 million instead of sticking with him when he pretty much was leading the Saints until his ACL injury. So that could be a highly emotional game right there. We'll see. Deshaun Watson has an injury history. He's always injured. And by November 17th, it could absolutely be Jameis Winston at the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Then we're at week 12. The Saints have a bye week. We have a late bye week. That's 11 straight games that the Saints have and then a bye, so depending on where the Saints are, this could be a blessing in disguise for them to get healthy for the late season run and and they can absolutely, make a late season run depending on where they're at. Right now, I got the Saints at possibly 6-5 out of these first 11 games, but we shall see. It remains to be seen, right? Because I can't really predict the future. I'm saying 6-5. Hell, they could be 1-10 with DA at head coach. Who knows? This is the Saints we're talking about. We're talking about a freaking frack. Him and Derek Carr, DA and Derek Carr at the head coach and quarterback position. Dumb and dumber. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So we don't know. I'm hoping for 6-5. I'm praying for 6-5. Not the latter, 2-9 or 1-10. I hope not. Coming December 1st, the Sunday after the bye week, we have the Los Angeles Rams coming to town. Saints lose that game. Sean McVay is going to outcoach DA. Then we're at the New York Giants in December. This could be a cold game. Saints don't necessarily play well historically in cold games, but the last time I remember the Saints going to New York in December, albeit with Drew Brees, with Alvin Kamara, with Sean Payton and them, they did beat the New York Giants in December, but that was with a different coach and different players per se, right? Then we have the Washington Commanders coming to town. This could be Jalen McDaniels at quarterback starting in the Superdome. Do you know that the LSU fans are going to be in there and they're going to be cheering? Jalen going to get some cheers. He's going to get some cheers. It won't, it ain't going to necessarily change anything because I think the Saints are going to whoop on Washington, but Jalen could absolutely come here and be a hometown hero per se when Washington comes December 15th. Then the Saints go to the Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, for a Monday Night Football game 2 days before Christmas on December 23rd. That is absolutely going to be a cold game. How cold? I don't know, but Green Bay gets cold. We could see snow. It's possible. It's very, very, very possible that we can absolutely see the Saints playing in snow, which 2 years ago, they played the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland on Christmas Day with snow, and it was like 6 degrees at kickoff, and the Saints won that game. So, hey, Saints won that game, and this one right here could be a cold game. I got the Saints probably losing this game because I think Green Bay is kind of figuring it out with Jordan Love, so I don't think the Saints win that game. Then we got the Las Vegas Raiders coming to town. Derek Carr's former team. He's going to be very highly on one, emotional about that game because the Vegas Raiders told Derek Carr to get his hat and his coat and the GTF. You know what I'm saying. All my Louisianans know what GTF means. And they told him before the season started, K-ass. That's what they told him. So that one could be one. That's December 29th, and that's in the Superdome. So we can see I think Saints probably win that game. I think the Saints win that game. Then we have the game at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the season finale. It's in Tampa. At this point, we don't know if the Saints are fighting for a playoff spot. Hopefully they are, because we always want the Saints to win, despite how we may feel about them. In the process of winning, we always want them to triumph, right? So we'll see how that one goes. Last year they beat Tampa Bay in Tampa to remain hopeful for the playoffs, and then eventually they got knocked out because they just didn't take care of their business during the season. So that is all 18 weeks of the season, all 17 games. Honestly, I have the Saints finishing probably 10-7. Will that be enough to get into the playoffs? I don't know. Hopefully it is. It would have been enough this season had they finished 10-7. But, I had the Saints last year finishing at least 12-5. I thought the Saints was going to run away with the division because Derek Carr had the most experience in the division. Baker Mayfield was coming from Los Angeles, from playing for Cleveland, Carolina, Los Angeles, and then to Tampa. And man, that was a disappointing season last year. Straight disappointing. This year, the Saints have questions about their offensive line. They have questions about the offense, and they're learning a new offense. I shouldn't say they have questions about it. They're going to be into a new offense with Clint Kubiak. So they're going to have new players at the wide receiver position, some unfamiliar faces per se. Yeah, we still know Chris Olave, right? We still know Rashid Shaheed, but we have some new blood coming in, and we have old blood going out. Michael Thomas will not be on the Saints team for the first time in like 8 years. You can say whatever you want to say, but the team will look different. And with all that being said, I think the Saints will have a winning record at 10-7. I hope it's enough to win to get into the playoffs, but you never know. Going through this schedule here, what I noticed right off the bat was the Saints have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 divisional games within the first 10 weeks of the season. The last divisional game isn't until week 18. So from week 1 to week 10, the Saints will play 5 of their 6 divisional games. That's important. That's important. So we catch pretty much 90% of our divisional games in the first 10 weeks of the season to pretty much establish our dominance. If we're going to win this division, it's going to be done within the first 10 weeks of the season. Everybody else, Cleveland, that's not a divisional game. You got Los Angeles, you got the Giants, you got the Commanders, you got the Packers, and then the Raiders, all within from week 11 to week 17. The only thing you need to do to make the playoffs and get a home game right as of now, because they haven't changed the rules, is just win your division. That's it. Yeah, you need to win some other games along there to, fatten your record or whatever. But if you win your division, you are in the playoffs and you have a home game. So that's what I'm banking on when I say 10-7. That just remains to be seen. The Saints also, from what I can see, have 3 primetime games. 2 Monday night games, 1 Thursday football game. We're not playing on Thanksgiving. We're not playing on Christmas Day. not in any of those spots. But, Kansas City Chiefs is a Monday night football game. The Denver Broncos is a Thursday night football game. And then the Green Bay Packers is going to be a Monday night football game. So the Saints have some primetime spots against some prominent teams. The Kansas City Chiefs, I don't see us beating Kansas City in Kansas City. But, who knows? I'm not banking on anything by that time. Somebody, things happen. This is the NFL football. And, somebody could be hurt or whatever. You never know how the wins are going to come about. You just hope they come about, right? So that's what I'm banking on. 10-7 is my prediction for this season here. Will it be enough to get into the playoffs? I think the Saints will win their division this year. I think Derek Carr is going to have a pretty decent division. I don't think the Saints are winning the Super Bowl this year, but I never really asked for the Saints to win the Super Bowl. The only thing I ever asked for the Saints is to be competitive. Don't have me turn on my television and see you sleepwalk for the first 2 hours of the game. That's all I ever asked. If we're in it, we're in it. And to win it, you got to be in it. Period, point blank. This has been another episode of the Go Intelligent Sports Podcast Show. The Saints did have their mini camp, their rookie mini camp. Hey, they said offensive tackle that we drafted in first round is going to play left tackle this year. That means that Ryan Ramczyk is probably going to be good to play right tackle, and he's probably going to be healthy, which only makes the team that much better. Spencer Rattler also turned some heads at camp. I think he should sit this year, and let Derek Carr play, and we'll see where he at next year. Let him learn. Don't throw him out there in the fire. Even if Derek gets hurt or something, let's get one of these other backups in it and have them play. Nathan Peterman is not making this Saints football team. I just wanted to throw that out there because the last time I checked, the man had more interceptions than touchdown passes. Like, they have a better chance of me getting there and play quarterback than Nathan Peterman. But that's neither here nor there. We'll address that later on as we learn how this roster shapes out. But this has been another episode of the Go Intelligent Sports Podcast Show. 10-7 is my prediction for the 2024 Saints season. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to share it with me, and I appreciate you for that. Until next time, peace.